The federal government has threatened to impose a fresh lockdown in the country if cases of COVID-19 infections continue to rise. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are the top 10 stories. At number 10, a man identified as Mr. Obiezu, an indigene of Akata, Oru East local government area of Imo State and brother to the Imo State Accountant General, has been shot dead by kidnappers who invaded Olu Catholic Church. According to reports, the kidnappers, after a failed attempt to kidnap a certain Chief Valentino Ibenye, a philanthropist in the state, ran into Mr. Obiezu and shot him dead. The initial target, Chief Valentino Ibenye, while narrating the incident, said the kidnappers trailed him to the church where he honored a friend's invitation. He said they only ran away when they noticed the police had been alerted. It was while they were getting away the Accountant General's brother collided with them and they shot him dead. At number 9, the Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Babatunde Salako, says 2 suspects are currently in police custody for issuing a fake COVID-19 test result with the institute's name. The DG, who made the disclosure to newsmen in Lagos on Friday at a news conference, said the institute is one with an unblemished reputation and a vision of promoting national health and development, and as such raises serious concern when its efforts are being sabotaged. Recall that the Lagos state government had on December 29, 2020, raised alarm over the sale of fake COVID-19 test results in the state and warned individuals to refrain from such. The state government said the process are in place to clamp down on both buyers and sellers. At number 8, in a bid to prevent the spread of a new COVID-19 variant identified in South Africa, the United Kingdom has placed a ban on travelers entering England from African countries like Namibia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Eswatini, Zambia, Malawi, Lesotho, Mozambique, Angola, Seychelles, Mauritius, and South Africa. This was contained in a press statement on the UK government's website titled Travel Restrictions Update. It stated that restriction would take effect on Saturday and will remain in place for 2 weeks. At number 7, hours after gaining back his social media pages, outgoing US President Donald Trump has promised to punish those who broke the law and defiled the seat of American democracy. Recall that Trump was banned on Twitter and Facebook following accusations of inciting riots at Capitol Hill that led to the death of several and destruction of properties in Washington. Trump, in a video shared on his Twitter page, vowed to punish perpetrators for violating the tenets of US law and democratic principles. At number 6, the Deputy Commander of Narcotics at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Jonah Achema, says the agency has released a list of 5,000 successful applicants in its recruitment exercise. Recall that President Buhari had approved the recruitment of 5,000 personnel for the agency to boost its manpower in July 2019. Candidates who had applied for different vacancies are advised to visit the agency's website for the list, as those shortlisted had already been contacted via email. The successful candidates are to appear at the agency's Academy in Jos Plateau State for screening and documentation exercise between January 10 and 23, 2021. At number 5, as part of efforts to curb the spread of coronavirus following a reported domestic outbreak, China has sealed off 2 cities south of Beijing, cut transport lanes, and banned residents from leaving the cities unless absolutely necessary. According to reports, Chinese officials have linked the recurrent outbreaks to strains of the virus circulating overseas and suggested that it had been brought back into China by methods such as returning travelers and contaminated imported food packaging. At number 4, following the recent recovery of 344 students of the Government Science Secondary School, Kankara, the Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari said security forces in the state have rescued about 103 kidnapped victims without any ransom payment. Masari, who urged the victims to consider their rescue as something from the Almighty Allah, said the process will continue until kidnapping is totally eradicated in the state. The governor said this is in continuation of the exercise that started with the recovery of the 344 students of the Government Science Secondary School, Kankara. We saw an opening and we're working with some stakeholders to make sure that we exploit it and bring back as many kidnapped victims as possible. We have so far returned 103 of the kidnapped victims and the process is still ongoing. We are doing this as quietly as possible to ensure that nobody is harmed and further kidnapping is stopped. So we're doing this with the Army, the Police, the Air Force and the Department of State Security. I can assure you that no ransom was paid to the kidnappers. At number 3, Vice-Chancellors of universities have been directed by the NUC to commence academic activities on January 18th in compliance with the directives of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Recall that the Academic Staff Union of Universities had been on a strike for 10 months, which was suspended on December 23, 2020. The NUC, in a statement by its Deputy Executive Secretary Chris Mayaki, urged universities to safeguard lives by strictly adhering to the existing safety protocols and guidelines of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. At number 2, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control has reported the country has recorded another high figure of 1,565 cases in 25 states and the Federal Capital Territory in a day. With the second wave of infections, the number of new cases continue to rise. Lagos sets a new daily record with 807 as over 1,500 new samples have been confirmed positive across 24 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The NCDC also confirmed that 683 patients were discharged on Thursday, 314 community recoveries in Lagos State, 158 in Kaduna State, and 84 in Plateau State. 6 persons were confirmed to have died on Thursday, bringing the total number of COVID-19 fatalities to 1,330. Finally, at number 1, the federal government has threatened to impose a fresh lockdown in the country if the cases of COVID-19 new infections continue to increase. The national coordinator of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Sani Aliyu, who stated this during a briefing in Abuja, said if the numbers continue to go up with significant number of deaths, the federal government will be left with no choice but to impose another nationwide lockdown. Always remember to wear your mask, wash your hands, and stay safe. That's all for now. See you next time on What's Happening.